Hi everybody, it's Honest John again. Now, about a couple of centuries ago, a child may or may not have been born in Israel. Now at the time, according to the Bible, the Romans were conducting a census, which is why his parents, Mary and Joseph, had to go to the town of Bethlehem where the son was born. The child grew up and became a pretty well-known troublemaker. He challenged the religious authorities and even the basic tenets of the Hebrew religion. There is a story that once he went to the main temple and beat up some rich and powerful people and drove them into the streets. He performed miracles, and his speeches drew huge crowds. He became such a threat to public order that the locals arrested him. The local authorities arrested him and turned him over to Pontius Pilate, the Roman magistrate who had him executed. These events were chronicled some 50 to 150 years later by several different people, notably Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Oddly enough, all of these events seem to have escaped the notice of the Romans, who were running Israel at the time, all of the countries surrounding Israel, and even the nation of Israel itself. Now, record keeping was not what it is today back then. But the only historical record of Jesus' existence is the Bible. There is no contemporaneous account of his life. There is no mention of him by the Romans or by anybody else. You would think that this very famous and troublesome guy would have rated a mention of some sort somewhere by someone, especially those people whose job it was to keep track of things like that. Now, despite all this, acceptance of Jesus as a historical figure has been almost unquestioned. One reason for that is just simply that for hundreds of years, historians simply accepted the Bible at face value. Nobody questioned it, and you can't blame them for that. If they had raised any questions, they would have been executed. Not the best atmosphere for conducting unbiased inquiry. So it is just accepted that Jesus is not a myth, a legend, or a story. Even though his life story does contain echoes of the myths of Greece and Rome, and many of the other religions that preceded Christianity. So today, the existence of Jesus is pretty much unquestioned, even though the only evidence for that is contained in one greatly biased book. Now, I can't say with absolute certainty that he didn't exist, but nobody can say with absolute certainty that he did. His existence has about the same amount of documentation as Hercules. Thanks for listening.